Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the Howell boys basketball coach. Of course, that is Nick Simon. How's it going? Big game tonight against Brighton at Brighton.
Oh yeah, we always like playing at Brighton. It's a good atmosphere. They usually have a great student section there, a lot of fans, a lot of our fans travel. So it's just usually a good environment and it's rowdy and it's a fun game.
Okay, let's talk about some of the things that you guys have done this year. Of course, it's been a good season for you guys. You've had some good wins, but you've also had some tough losses as well. But overall, how do you think the year's kind of going?
I think we're doing a solid job so far. I'm proud of our guys out there working hard every day in practice and gaining some experience. There's not too many guys on our team that have a lot of experience playing a varsity games. So gaining some of that experience and we're hoping to turn that corner tonight, hopefully.
Yeah, when you look at obviously, coming into the year, of course, you had to replace a lot of guys from last year's team. Logan's really been obviously Logan's back, but Jalen Hicks has really kind of came into his own as a player.
Yeah, Jalen's done a great job. He's a guy that we knew we were gonna get a lot out of this year, and he's done a really good job with that. And he's hit bumps on the road just like everybody else has. But that's how you learn and grow. And I'm excited to see how he performs tonight.
When you look at guys like maybe other guys that many don't know, like Andrew Weber, Eric Patilla, Curtis Dell, with those three guys, where are you? What's it kind of? Just talk about how they've kind of handled, being in that starting lineup.
Yeah, our starting lineup has actually changed a handful of times with various injuries and things like that. But Eric's a guy that we were hoping to get a lot out of last year, and he had quite a few injuries throughout the year, and then got dinged up right at the beginning of this year and broke his nose. So he's just kind of starting to get into a flow where he's actually been able to practice now for about a month straight for the first time in his high school career. So that's exciting, and he's a really talented player. And Kurt Dell's just a grinder, a guy that works hard all the time. And Andrew Weber has been awesome for us this year. Couldn't be happier with how he's practiced day in and day out. And he's a lights out shooter, and he's done a really good job too.
Yeah. Kind of talk about the guys that, are I mean, obviously you mentioned it, you changed the starting lineup, obviously with injuries and all that, but overall, talk about some of the guys that are kind of really been producing that we haven't talked about yet today.
TJ Fishhopper is a guy that could easily start for us too. A big-bodied athlete that has improved tremendously in the offseason. A guy that I think is just getting better every single day. And so he's somebody that we expect to just continue to blow up, and a guy that we can really trust offensively, and he's earning that defensively too. So he's been really good. Danny Hampton, a freshman, has done a really good job as well this year. Stepping in and understanding how to play at the varsity level right away, which is something that's very, very difficult for our freshmen to do. Going from 8th grade to varsity like that, he's been really stellar. And then another senior, John Klask, has given us really good minutes. But man, we're pretty deep. It's something that I think as the season goes on, will show more and more that we have a lot of guys. John Lovich, another senior, that's a really tough defender. Cooper Eckerly, a sophomore, that can give us really solid minutes. We have a lot of guys that can do good things, and I think there's a couple more that are on the verge of doing that too.
Yeah, of course. I know a lot of the guys went to the Brighton game a few weeks ago, kind of scouting them. What impresses you about them? I know they were able to come out with a win in conference play against Novi last week. What was that? What's it going to be like going up against a team like that?
Well, they're incredibly talented. They have a lot of really good shooters and a lot of really good scorers. And man, they put the ball in the hoop and they do it quick. They run a 4-out motion offense, but they have guys that want to get shots up, and they're able to make very tough shots. So some of the guys, there's only so much you can do against them, forcing them to take those tough shots consistently. But we've seen on tons of the film that they make those tough shots pretty consistently too. So it's doing what we can to make those shots tough every single time down, and not getting caught allowing easier shots because you're guarding the tough shots too much and allowing them to get to spaces where they're going to make the shots really consistently. But they have a couple players in Millington and Tomasi who can just flat out play basketball on both ends. And I think this is probably as complete of a team as they've had in a while, where they have a couple of stars, but they also have 5 or 6 other players that can really play basketball too. So it's definitely going to be a challenge.
Yeah, the league's kind of it's kind of like that this year. Of course, you've been in one league game. Obviously, you were at Canton yesterday. What did you kind of learn about your team after the loss to Canton?
Well, number one, I think playing at Canton is arguably the toughest game in the division. So starting out division play, going to Canton is a tough way to start it. And I think in the beginning of that game, it was, we let it slip a little bit getting in the second quarter. I thought we started out great. I thought we were ready for the moment. And, we learned a lot too. We let a run get a little too far and kind of played into their run. They're definitely a great basketball team, though. They're lengthy. They play great defense. They're well coached. But we didn't quit. And there was a moment where, I think we were down 20 something, and it felt like you could just kind of turn it off and kind of ride that game out. And instead we amped it up and cut that lead by 12 pretty quickly. And we ended up kind of being in the game there in the fourth quarter. And so I was really proud of our guys and their resiliency in that moment.
Yeah. So kind of also going into tonight, what do you feel like you have to do to get a big win like this? And it's also, you're going to their place. It's an environment. Brighton's always a tough environment to play. And obviously we know Howell may be the toughest place to play. What's it like playing in environments like that in these county rivalries? It's nothing gets these kids fired up for that.
Oh, I think you got to just appreciate it. I mean, this is what the whole reason you play sports is to play in great environments. I don't think there's anybody that you're going to ask that would prefer to play in an empty gym against your rival. Like, you want the moment, and I think we're going to be ready for that. And it's really something that you got to start out well. As far as, I don't care if we make shots early or not, but you got to be able to start out locked in defensively, running our stuff the right way, and not get caught up in the hype of the game and kind of playing out of sorts. And I think we'll do a good job of that. But I think Brighton's going to be a tough matchup for everybody in the league, and I think they're a really good team. So we're going to try and do the best we can to force tough shots, and we have to rebound well and get out and run very efficient offense on our end. But we might do all those things right, and Brighton might put more balls in the hoop than we do still. I'm excited for that challenge.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nick Simon, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and good luck tonight against Brighton.
Yeah, thanks.